talking unless y'all giving me land and 2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
I'm not talking. I'm not talking unless you giving me likes, you're sharing, and you're subscribing. You hear me? Okay. Well, hey, babe. Listen, we got to get into a few things, okay? A few things we got to get into. Shout out to Miss Onaja, okay? Shout out to her. We still don't know what's going on. Last time I checked, my girl was over there in damn Dubai, and I have not heard a lick since, okay? So I'm keeping her alive over here, just a little piece, all right? With the I'm not talking. Praying that she is doing okay health-wise, hoping everything is okay, and definitely hoping that she is in contact with her family for sure. But listen, I wanted to chat about a few things. So make sure you're coming in and you're doing what you're supposed to do. And we just got into it. But let me hop over here because I think it's this one. Let me hop over here because that's right. All right. I want to start here with some of the conversation on today. And remember, I came to you guys the other day with the video regarding the man that you see here in the corner in the circle. I'm going to say the McDonald's dad. So what we saw of him was he left his 3 children, from my understanding. I believe they were all under the age of 10 and under. I believe it was a 10-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 1-year-old. He left them in the play area of a McDonald's. Okay. It was being said that the guy was trying to apply for a job or something, or he went for a job interview or whatnot, so he couldn't take his kids with him. So he ended up leaving those children over at the McDonald's. Now, what's interesting about this is I heard about this story by way of like the blogs, but more so the blogs was citing the news. So I find it to be very interesting that now, first of all, Antonio Brown, the guy that you see standing in the photo, I don't know if he's currently playing football, but he was playing football at one point. He decided once he learned about this story to go ahead and launch some GoFundMe on behalf of this guy, all right, and his family, right? Because it's hard times right now. Tariffs are up. Ain't no telling if unemployment gonna be up. It's just so much stuff going on. So he wanted to be able to help, and clearly he wasn't the only one. A lot of people did. He put up a GoFundMe for about $50,000. Yesterday when we did the video, it was at like 45,000, but a few hours later, it was at 60,000. It's likely over that amount. I can see the guy hitting 100,000 potentially. Okay. With that, a lot of stories started to come out, and people were alleging that he was not there at a job interview when he left the kids. All right. That's what authorities were saying. So I'm like, that's very interesting because this story was really coming from the news. So where did that come from? If it was coming from the news reports and they're saying that this man had a job interview, he was away at a job interview, and then later on we're hearing from the authorities that man was not at no job interview. Well, what I can recall, I'm just giving y'all my thoughts, okay, from what I can recall, honey. He did leave. He left twice. So he came, from my understanding, from what I read on yesterday, he dropped the kids off, he left, he came back, and then he left again. So what I'm thinking is he could have potentially been at a job interview. Potentially. I guess they'll have to verify with the person he says he interviewed with. But he could have potentially been at an interview the first time, returned back. Okay, saw that the kids were good. They were straight. Nobody's bothering them. They're playing. The 1-year-old don't need nothing, whatever the case is. And then he leaves again. Right. So I think when the police arrived and when he was returning, that's likely when they learned that at that moment he wasn't at a job interview, right? So you left your kids there or whatever, so you got the charge. Well, Antonio decided to come, say, hey, I'm looking for this guy, Chris Lewis or whatever. I want to do something good for him. Help me find him. I've started this GoFundMe. You guys can donate if you want. Trying to get this amount. I've already talked to GoFundMe. They're going to make sure he received the proceeds, right? Well, now, as I said, the authorities are now trying to say that the father who left his children at McDonald's unattended was not at a job interview. Okay. That's what they're reporting. But Antonio Brown did come out, and this is what he said in his statement. He says, still working on an update on Chris. I know he did for a fact attend a job interview after leaving his kids. I know, he says, and I know that the family has been homeless since November. Okay. He's like, these are things that I know. I know for a fact he went to a job interview. I know for a fact they've been homeless. How he has these facts, I don't know, but that is what he's saying. Okay. Um, let's keep going. He says, still trying to work out other details on the timeline and story. We'll keep in touch with updates. If you do not want to wait, you have the option to refund your money on the GoFundMe. He says, we'll have a better plan when I update later today. I do know people need help out here. I'm happy to help. Okay. He goes on to say, blessings. All right. Now I want to see if I can find that GoFundMe for Chris Lewis. Let me see if I can find that, because I did have it up the other day. Is this it? I think this may be it. Just to see if any money was taken. Child, them folks not trying to get their money back. And maybe, I don't really use it a lot to really know how that works. But to know, like, maybe that's the number they're showing and people are still getting refunds. But I would think that they would show the lesser amount. But right now, as it stands, the man has raised $81,981. So I don't know who Chris Swaggy C. Williams is, but he had to drop 2 stacks down there. Okay. So I told y'all this man probably gonna hit 100,000 before the money's out. I just hope that whatever it is, he handles it accordingly. Okay. And make sure they good for a little minute. All right. And hopefully, I mean, in my opinion, if gifted that amount of money and it's likely going to be taxed, GoFundMe gonna take their money, whatever it is. For me, I would still try and find an opportunity. That's just me. Now, it may buy me some time. And honestly, I don't know what he could do about, childcare. And here's the thing, right? People are like, well, what if when you get a job, what you gonna do with the kids? Are you gonna have somebody to watch the kids? And I'm questioning if maybe that day he was planning on somebody watching the kids and maybe the plans fell through. Maybe he had to think fast and the sitter they typically have for the kids wasn't available. Maybe they will be available in the future. I don't know. Maybe he can afford to put them in daycare or something, or they figure some things out. What I was also thinking, like, I don't know what his background is or if he got a trade, but if he could use some of that money people are giving him to potentially put towards, a trade, and see if they're willing to give him any type of scholarships or something like that. Maybe he can go and do that. Ain't no telling, hopefully whatever it is he decides, hopefully something great comes from it for his family. But that is what's being put out here. The authorities are saying one thing, but the news reports was saying something else. So I'm like, they had to have gotten this information from somewhere. And I would want to believe that they got it from y'all reports and y'all police scanners. Okay. Is what I would want to believe about the situation at hand. But you guys, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you're familiar with this, if you've donated and you decided, I'm going to pull my money back. Okay. Or if you're waiting to get all of the details, or are you going to support no matter what? Because you may feel like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, this is a family that needs some assistance, and I am at a place where I am willing to assist them, hands down, period. Okay. So let me know your thoughts about that at the end of the day. Okay. I see somebody in the comments said, I'm here for it. Y'all not about to sit here and act like y'all weren't left home with a sibling and told not to answer the damn door for nobody, child. I'm just telling y'all what the comments said over here. All right. And says, except he doesn't have a door, and probably as a father wanted to just be present with his kids. Hopefully the money will give him the stability he needs. Okay. Because they did say the mother ended up arriving to the scene and taking custody of the kids and going home or whatnot. So I don't know if they live together, maybe she had just gotten off work, or if they're not together, he had the kids. Not sure what the situation was with that, but like I said, hopefully whatever took place ends up being some good for him. All right, and the kids as well. So let's see what else we got over here that I want to chat about. Okay. So I want to talk real quick about this young lady named Gorgeous Doll. I don't know if you guys remember her. Like, I think it was last month, she was going back and forth with Future. She had some issues going on with Future. I guess she was trying to expose the fact that they had some type of connection with each other. And she ended up calling his phone, right? Future was up there saying that he did not know her. I don't know you. I don't know you. And she's like, oh, so you don't know me? You don't know me. The whole time as soon as she called, the man picked the phone up on the first ring. Bring, hello. I don't know you, man. I don't know. I'm like, you sure you don't know her? Because she got your personal cell. She didn't have to go through anybody to get to you. And you're talking to her right now. You answered on the first ring. Like, are you okay? So it's just been a mess. Well, now it appears that she's back in the news again because it appears that she is suing. She's suing Magic City, which is a strip club, in Georgia and Atlanta. And they're saying that she's suing for alleged sexual harassment and wage violations, claims that the club illegally forced the dancer to give them a percentage of their nightly earnings. Now, I don't know how to feel about this. I want to read more. I'm feeling two ways. One, I'm like, isn't that something that you guys sign up for when it comes to the wages? Don't you sign up to give them a percentage of that on a nightly basis, or is it like a weekly basis? Like, how does that work? So I would think they would make money off of what you guys make. Now, granted, I don't know about the sexual harassment portion. I feel like, two things can be true. Yeah, you can work in a strip club. You could be dancing, showing off your body and all of that for money and stuff. But that does not mean that, some people get a right to touch you or even harass you even further beyond just dancing on the stage and stuff. So I think that is very possible. Like, women go to the clubs and stuff. They have a good time. They dance or whatever. They may wear a little risque outfit, and people think because a woman over there dancing, doing whatever she doing, that they got a right to just grab her ass as they walk past. Like, no, sir, you do not. That is not how they go. You know what I'm saying? That is not cool. No, sir, no, ma'am. Okay? Because women, y'all could be on that too. Just a little piece. Okay? So, no, it's not okay. It's not okay. So, I mean, she may have very well experienced that. So, let's go ahead and get into it, because they're saying, according to the lawsuit obtained by Fox 5 Atlanta, gorgeous doll, whose real name is Country Hell. Girl, that is not your real, that's you lying. Country Hell? That's terrible. Girl, I know you got joked the fuck out in high school. I just know. Country Hell? I would have never expected her name was no damn Country. I kind of like the country. Like, country ain't really bad. Or is it countery? Or is it contory? Like, because black folks, girl, they'll mix their name up real quick if they don't like how it sound for real. So maybe it's not country. It's spelled country, but maybe it's Courtney. Maybe they mixed up the letters. Maybe her name is Courtney Hill. Because I think this may be a typo on the Neighborhood Talks end. Because her name is Courtney. Has to be. Let's keep going. They go on to say claims from September 2022 to September 2023, she had to share her nightly earnings with the club's DJ, security, and a third-party promoter known by the name Baller. Now, that's too many people in one pocket. Now, why is she having to pay the DJ and the security? You as an establishment, those are things that you guys are supposed to provide, period. And when it comes to a third-party promoter, she didn't ask that man to promote her. Y'all as a club did. Okay, now when she gives the club so much of money, then y'all divide that up amongst those three that you're supposed to divide it amongst, and the bartenders and whatever else you're supposed to do. Now, granted, that could very well be the case of how it works, but to make the lawsuit sound much worse than what it is, I wouldn't be surprised if her attorney broke it out like that, so they could see, like, oh my God, she was taken advantage of like this, and then like that, and then like this, and then like that. So, that's possible. Let's keep going. They say these alleged kickbacks would reportedly range from $20 to $1,000. Her lawyer claims this was an obvious violation of the Fair Labor Standards Act, which shields employees from having to share tips with employers. Hale also claims that she was sexually harassed by a female manager at the club. Now, didn't I just say, and I didn't even read this before we got into it, but I just said some of y'all women can be on that SHI too. Okay, trying to grab on people little booty wooty when they walking past or whatever. Okay, so anywho, she goes on to say, or the article goes on to say, the lawsuit doesn't give details about what exactly took place, but Hale claims after the incident she reported it to the club owners, but nothing was allegedly done about it. Then, when she decided to speak out about her mistreatment, she was fired. All right. That's interesting. All right. The attorney who represents Magic City and its owner is denying all of Hale's claims in a statement to Fox that he says the reason she was fired is private information. So does she know why she was fired? Does she know why she was fired? Because you can't fire somebody and then just say private information. Why was she fired? Because it also gives, when you say private information, in my opinion, it does kind of come off as though you guys maybe try to come up with an excuse or come up with the reasoning as to why you're trying to come up with some bullshit, is what it kind of sounds like on that portion. So I don't know. It's a bit confusing. So they go on to say, but he insists it wasn't because of her outing the club on social media. As for the sexual harassment claim, Freed claims it's currently under investigation by the club, but he reportedly declined to discuss the income. All right. So they're saying Magic City prides itself on treating its employees with dignity and respect. We do not believe this ever happened. For y'all to say y'all do not believe this ever happened, baby, we know you lying out the gate, because I refuse to believe that SH and SA does not happen there. I refuse to believe that does not go down there. Okay. But anywho, let us go ahead and get into what they're saying, if they're giving us additional details in this news report.
Atlanta's Magic City faces a federal workplace discrimination lawsuit. Courtney Hale, who goes by Gorgeous Doll.
Told y'all her name had to have been Courtney, because I said, bitch, Country Hale is crazy. Y'all need to correct that in y'all caption.
Claims the club owes her thousands of dollars in earned tips. Hale also claims she was sexually harassed by a female manager. She says that when she reported it, no action was taken. The complaint states that she was fired in an act of retaliation after speaking about it on social media.
There aren't a lot of girls who speak out because they're scared.
We don't believe any of these allegations have any merit. This Magic City, we've sent 2 cease and desist letters.
Magic City attorneys say that there was an investigation into her sexual harassment claim, but declined to discuss the outcome. Both sides say they're looking forward to arguing their case before a jury. This morning, Atlanta's Magic City.
Interesting. We'll have to see how that's going to work out for her. I do believe that, things have happened and other women have been afraid to come forward and saying what they experienced. So she decided she'll be the one to fall on the sword, or whatever the case is, and put it out there. So we'll see. I don't know if they've had allegations like this before and it didn't go anywhere. Not necessarily sure. But the way these clubs in Atlanta be nickeling and diming folks, child, I wouldn't be surprised if they was having them pay a little extra. You got to pay the DJ security, this and that, because people just want to be able to hold up the building. They just want to be able to give you a building, and then once they provide you with the building, you have to pay for everything else inside that building. Like, when I tell you Atlanta club culture has changed, and first of all, I've been out of it for a minute. Okay. I don't regret it. Like, girl, lounge me just a little piece. If that, because I ain't even trying to be out like that. Like, if that, girl, I'm not finna wear no heels to stand in no line for a long time like I used to back in the day. That's DEAD for me. Not finna happen. Then when you do go out trying to get you a little vibe or something like that, child, what they be charging, you got to pay the park. Then you get in there, they put automatic gratuity on there, barely want to split up the damn checks, because I guess they want to get the max on the damn tip, and then turn around and ask you for an additional tip. Like, it's all kind of SHI that they be doing. That, girl, these clubs in Atlanta, and I don't know like anywhere else, but definitely in Atlanta, it be giving Ticketmaster. Okay. And I had put a post up. Let me see if I still got that post. Because, girl, I was like, now what the hell is this, honey? Because, matter of fact, I think my homegirl sent me that post. Because Ticketmaster, so the post says Ticketmaster, let me cut that off. Ticketmaster be like, concert ticket $40, venue, matter of fact, venue fee of $21+, access fee. Then you got your paperless transmission fee. Then you got a fee. Then you got a fee 5-4 farm. Then you got a cuz we can fee. Then you got might as well fee. Then what the fuck you going to do fee? Okay, what the fuck you gonna do? That's a fee. Another dollar won't hurt fee. Girl, they got all these damn fees, and that's how these clubs be out here in Atlanta and stuff. So y'all be trying to go out for a good little time, and girl, you barely can do that. Okay, because they taxing and axing. It's crazy. I don't even much like going down into the Atlanta for real. Like, it be giving outskirt me, please. Because the people crazy. All right, so I can imagine the way the club's been nickeling and diming. I wouldn't be surprised if they over there nickeling and diming the strippers. And in addition to that, I'm not surprised if there's been any SA and SH to take place over there in the club too. Okay, just a whole ass mess, honey. But we'll see if her case gonna go anywhere because she's been daring a lot of people lately, honey. She getting that name out there. Miss Ma'am said she finna get her a piece of fame as an influencer. Because I'll be honest, I never heard of no gorgeous doll until the Future situation. Then I saw somebody else on TikTok talking about her and somebody else taking shots at each other. Then next thing you know, she's suing somebody. So she's keeping her name out there. Now, I don't know if she's come from baddies or something, or if she's trying to audition for baddies. But either way, girl, good luck. Okay, I feel like we're gonna be hearing her name a little bit more. All right. But anywho, as we're still on Atlanta, I would like us to go ahead and get into something else, right? And that is Young Thug. So Young Thug, y'all know he has been out on probation. He was facing a RICO case and he ended up getting like a 15-year, I think it was 15-year probation. Let me see. Yes. The rapper was sentenced to a 15 years of probation and is currently subject to a 10-year ban from the Metro Atlanta area. Okay, which is also interesting. Like, damn, that's all. He might well leave Georgia. Okay, you might well get the hell. I mean, can you get permission to move? Like, damn, you ain't going nowhere. But anywho, so when things came out about that rapper Scooter, it appears, I believe when things came out about Scooter, a lot of people didn't know how he passed away. And we kind of got into that story. Matter of fact, I want to pull up another, let me see if I can find that other audio as well of Scooter and that young lady. So there was a rapper Scooter where the 911 call was made. A young lady was alleging that he, well, she didn't say exactly who. She just said that a guy was dragging a woman, beating her, she was screaming, doing all of this stuff or whatever. And when the police got there, they found no woman, but obviously the guys appeared to be guilty with something. The girl said they had drugs or something in their house. They had something going on for you to want to run from the police. And I'm just going to be honest, for y'all to get the cutting out running. Now, one of the guys did return, but Scooter, unfortunately, he jumped the fence. And I do believe that he injured himself, which resulted in him. It resulted in his death. Okay. So I think this may be the audio. So it resulted in his death, unfortunately for him. And the police decided they were going to look for this 911 caller. They eventually caught up to her. They arrested her. They did put a bond, and I'm not sure she may have made the bond now because I don't think her charge was very serious. I was questioning yesterday whether or not his family was going to try to get her charges upgraded because they may feel like had she not made the call, he would have never died. So they may feel like her making a false 911 call resulted in his death. I don't know if they may try and sue her or something, or try to get her charges upgraded. Like, I don't know. But if I was her, I would definitely go and get you an attorney or something just to be on the safe side. But all in all, she was charged for making a false police report because they did not have that they couldn't find a woman. And it's being reported that she called from a completely separate county than where those guys were. And when she was telling the story sounded like she was there at that very moment when everything went down. Like she was watching it happen as she was calling 911. And that just was not the case, right? That's not what was going on. All right. So it's been a mess. So it did result. I want to listen to this audio because I don't think I heard this portion, and then we'll get into Young Thug because he ended up tweeting out some stuff about this situation. It was speculation at first that Scooter had got shot, and then we learned that no, that was another incident, but it had nothing to do with him. He actually was running from the police, injured himself on a fence or something like that. I think he harmed his thigh or his leg, and it resulted in him, bleeding out too much, and he lost his life. But let's listen to this.
There's a reaction for every action. This is part A. You guys didn't have part A. You guys only had part B. And the narrative, it looks like I was trying to set this man up because you guys don't have part B. I'm giving you part B. I'm giving you what led up to the call. I was physically abused, so I called to protect myself. That's the issue. That's part A. I never had any intentions to get anybody hurt. I was the one that was getting hurt. And I came here to say my truth. That's it. That's all. I don't want no clout. I don't want anything. All these troll pages, y'all don't know me. None of y'all know me at all. At the end of the day, I'm a woman, and I was physically abused multiple times. There's a reaction for every action.
All right. So that's what she's saying. She's saying that she was the one that was being harmed. So there's that. I don't know if she's telling the truth or not, to be honest, because sometimes people do feel more empowered once they get away from their abusers, and then they'll make a 911 call and say XYZ. Now, I don't know if she has any markings on her body or anything that would show that there's actually been some abuse taking place. I don't know if there was cameras. Being that he's a rapper, I would assume there's cameras around the property or within the home. Even if you think you've erased some of the footage, the police officers could still be able to get access to the footage, from my understanding. So maybe there was something that happened there that could be used in support of her. But right now, a lot of people are not believing her story, and I can't say whether I believe it or not because I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Okay. Don't know what happened. Don't know if she's telling the truth or not. Don't know if she was abused and it wasn't on that day, or if she was abused earlier that day, hours before, and, had the courage to call. I do not know. All I know is a 911 call was made. The police said it was false. They could not find a woman on the scene at all. And at some point, this young man ran. It resulted in his death. And here we are. So they arrested her for making a false 911 call. All right. Now, Young Thug ended up making some tweets about some of the stuff that happened. And I remember this because I was like, why would you say that when you know that we're confused? So he said something like the autopsy came back, Street got shot. Okay, basically talking about the guy got shot and we didn't even have all the facts. So basically you just on your platform just lying. That's number one. That's the first thing we need to get. Why are you lying? And you already know, and everybody should know, when you're performing one of these autopsy, they don't be coming back that damn fast. It seems like it's a whole process that they got to do. Okay, it seems like it may take maybe a month or longer just to get an autopsy back. So how you gonna know for sure that that's what you don't know? So I don't know. It was just like But anywho, that's what he tweeted that out like immediately. I'm like, well, what you doing? He had other things to say as well on Twitter. But anywho, that was one of the things. Okay. He also goes on to say this is the biggest liar in the DA office. Okay. Child, that's crazy. So once he made those two tweets, Fulton County prosecutors request to have Young Thug's probation revoked, honey. They did not like the things that he had to say. They say the integrity of this court and the safety of those involved in this prosecution are at stake. I guess the fact that he put out that woman's image and said what he said made them feel like she was at jeopardy to lose her life or something, like her life is being threatened of some sort is what was being said. Now, I do want to hop over here to Hollywood Unlocked because this is where I want to get into DA Fani Willis and what she had to say about those recent posts and their decision to want to revoke his probation or whatnot. So let's check this out.
District Attorney Fani Willis.
What our motion is concerned about is that we certainly believe that his post was to threaten law enforcement, which is all part of gang activity.
Jeffrey Williams' attorney, Brian Steele, told me by phone it is never appropriate to be engaged in any type of witness intimidation. It is never appropriate to threaten to murder another person. The prosecution's motion to revoke Jeffrey's probation should not be well received and should be swiftly rejected. It is irresponsible to file a motion of this sort when Jeffrey has done absolutely nothing, Steele said, to violate any condition of probation or threaten a witness.
We know that it is clear to Mr. Williams that the intent of the district attorney is to stop gang activity in Fulton County, Georgia. We believe the judge's order is clear, and that this is an intentional violation.
District Attorney Fani Willis.
So I'm gonna say this real quick before we even I thought she had more to say. I feel like he just called her a liar. I don't think that's a threat. I don't think that's gang activity. I feel like if you feel like her life is threatened. I think all of your lives are threatened once you attach yourself to this case, because there's nothing for people to get records and the identities of everybody that was involved in the case if they really wanted to do some harm to y'all. But that's just what I'm thinking. Like, he's on his Twitter page. He called her a liar. A lot of people that are up against the courts, that's what they say. They go, I mean, sometimes, because I sitting in courtrooms and just watching how people, prosecutors do stuff, like, y'all do be over exaggerating stories, bitch. I ain't gonna even lie. All right, y'all do be over it. I'm talking about, girl, embellishment sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes it be giving heavy embellishment. I don't even be knowing the folks. I just be saying, like, now she did what to this man? And he did what to her? Are you sure? You know what I'm like? Just like embellishing. I think this lady cut her husband with a butter knife or something. And the prosecutor was like, and she stabbed him or something, she said. And the judge was like, that's not what that was. It was hilarious to me. And I'm just like, Lord, the way these folk was sitting here and embellish, like, it's too much. Okay. And that's what I feel like Fanny was doing in that moment. Gang activity. What it is Miss Ma'am is still sour that man was able to get out. That man is doing his little 15-year probation or whatever he got going on. Okay, now you don't need to be up there lying on nobody, talking about no damn autopsy. The boy got shot. Come to find out that's not what it was. Okay, now you over here calling this lady the biggest liar, and I'm like, well, both of y'all must be standing next to each other because you giving the biggest liar as well. Okay, to me, y'all both some big ass liars. Period. But Miss Fanny, I don't agree with that in my personal, and it appears that the judge don't agree with it either. Because Judge Page came back and said, if y'all don't, please get the fuck out my face. Okay, please get the fuck out my face is what the judge said. Like, going on with this stuff, okay? She denies a motion to revoke this man's bond, okay? She like, and that's a fair judge. I'll give her that now, just a little piece, okay? She like, if you can't take the heat, then get off high-profile cases then, okay? Because the people can say, well, that's his freedom of speech. Over there on that social media. That man is not trying to get nobody to harm you. If that was the case, you would have been harmed already because you was already attached to this case. Period. All right. The judge says upon consideration, motion to revoke defendant's probation, which alleges a violation of terms and conditions of defendant's probation for having posted a picture of a particular law enforcement officer with the caption biggest liar in the DA office, and defendant April 3rd, a response thereto, and having reviewed the terms of conditions defendant's probation imposed by this court, the court declines to revoke defendant's probation based on the violations asserted. So you can get the hell up out my office is what she said. You can go on. Bye. Child, that's a mess. Ooh, y'all let me know how y'all feel. Do you think that it was a threat? Do you feel like, okay, he was threatening that lady and y'all should revoke him because he should have never gotten out? Or do you agree with the judge? Leave your thoughts down below, please. And we're going to go on and move to another story, which is very, very, very sad. Very, very sad here. This is about a North Carolina mother. She was celebrating her son's release after 3 years of him being in prison. And he wasn't even out of prison for a good week before he unalived her and his younger brother. And when he got out, the mom put a post up on Facebook and she was praising and she was just so happy. And she was, oh my God, my son is out. He's free. He's out. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. And all of this stuff. And he wasn't even, it's sad. Wasn't even home a good week. It looks like back in December of 2021, he was convicted in Wilson County of larceny of firearms, multiple counts of breaking and entering into motor vehicles, and malicious conduct by a prisoner. So you meant that you weren't able to function outside of prison, so you needed to do whatever it is that you could possibly do to get back to prison to be with your boys. So you don't have to be out here paying this high ass rent and ain't no telling what else, okay? So you felt like your family was worth you going back into the cell. So you took both of their lives so you can make sure that you'll never have to get out ever again. That's really sad. And I don't know how much praying that mama did for him. She was looking forward to him getting out, finally got out, and wasn't even home a good week. Oh, it's just, that's the girl. I don't know if he had any other siblings, but I do want us to check out this news story over here and let's just see what they're saying.
Now to the double murder in Wilson County. We're learning the suspect is charged with killing his own brother and his mother. Police identifying the victims as 50-year-old Dana Jenkins and her 15-year-old son, Darren Cox. Jenkins' 25-year-old son, Darion Jenkins, is now charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. The victims were found inside a home yesterday evening on Snowden Drive. Cindy Bay has new reaction from the family.
Loved ones are reeling from the death of a mother and son who police say were found dead inside their Wilson home on Monday.
She was a very sweet person. Always smiled. I can see her smile right now. She always smiled.
Juanelia Carnegie lives next door to her cousin Dana Jenkins, who was allegedly killed by her older son, 25-year-old Darion Jenkins.
Why would you do that?
Jenkins is also accused of killing his 15-year-old brother, a Wilson County school student who is being remembered by Beddingfield High School and Mount Moriah Community Church in Wilson.
They loved each other. They loved us. We loved them, especially Darren. He meant the world to all of us. Our teens here, they're grieving heavily.
According to court documents, Jenkins was released from prison on March 25th on separate charges, just 1 week before the incident. Jenkins is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder as Wilson police investigate the circumstances surrounding the victims' deaths.
This is a tragedy, and honestly, there is no winner in this. And I'll be praying for everyone watching this, everyone affected by this and impacted by this.
Cindy Bay, ABC.
That is really, really, really sad. Like, that is just, and I can imagine how the mom went about supporting his R's all in jail and stuff. And then you get out and this is the thanks that she gets. I bet you he was quick to get angry about something and likely jealous as hell of his little brother. I don't know the circumstances of what all happened, but I can only speculate of what could have happened. Probably got into it with his mom. He could have got into it with the brother and maybe one of them was trying to stop it and he ended up just deciding to take both of them. Like, it's just like, how much hate do you have to have in your heart? That's crazy. I don't know. I can't. These folks here. I'm wondering if he would have been getting therapy inside the prison, would that shit have really helped? Okay. Child, that is just rest in peace to his mom and Dana Jenkins and her son Darren Cox, 15 years old. Bitch, I hope somebody end up stumping your ass out right now because that was definitely not called for. Definitely not necessary. And she over here praising the Lord, her baby home. My motherfucking baby. My baby is home. Lord, I thank you. Ain't that something? Just 6 days prior. And you take her up out of here. Child, I cannot. Woo! All right, y'all. So that's that one. And let us go ahead and get into another. Child, listen. We got to get into Miss Ayesha Howard. So I came to y'all the other day talking about Ayesha Howard, who has she's a mother of 2. She has a son with a little baby. She also has a daughter that she just gave birth to with a basketball player named Anthony Edwards. I'm sorry. Anthony is already in a relationship. He's been in one for quite some time. But since being in that relationship, he had outside children. Okay. He is currently in the courts now, battling it out with another 1 or 2 other baby mamas, along with Aeysha. All right, Aeysha was living in Georgia and decided to relocate to California. His attorneys believe that she relocated to California in an effort to get more money in child support, but Georgia just put out, I guess, a legal document or something saying that California, you do not have jurisdiction over this particular case. So now I guess they got a hearing in California to see what they're going to do or whatever, but it seems like the case may take place in Georgia. We'll have to wait and see. So a lot of people have been coming down on Aeysha for having this child. She is close to the age of 40, I believe, maybe 38 or something. I think at the time that he and her may have gotten together, may have been, I think when she got pregnant by him, she was like 37, whereas he was like 22. But I've also seen reports where he was 19 and she was 30 something. So I don't know if that's when they started talking in comparison to when, you know, she got pregnant by him. Not sure, but he's fairly young, right? So a lot of people have had a lot of things to say about the age gap, all right? Everybody's not going to, I guess, I don't even want to say Drea's man is mature because I don't even know him, but everybody's not going to be like, I guess, a Jalen and Drea, because I believe that they're actually in a relationship. Even though what was interesting was that there was another girl that I guess he was dating that people were alleging was Drea's friend that had her child right before Drea. So I don't know, but it looks like Drea may be the actual girlfriend and he actually wants something to do with his child. Whereas with Anthony, it appears he wants nothing to do with her child. That's what it looks like. He's not fighting for visitation rights or any of that. Okay. I think they took a DNA test, confirmed it was his child at the end of last year. Now I think he's willing to only give her like $5,000 a month. And then reports came out where they were saying that he was willing to give her all of that money up front for the whole 18 years. Let me give it to you up front. Let me give it to you right now. So it would have totaled out to like what, $1,080,000 or something like that. And so once those reports came out and everybody had conversation about it, including myself, she came and says there are no court documents, motions, or proceedings that have occurred, nor have I been offered or agreed to such terms. You know, I don't even know if she would agree to that. I was kind of thinking to myself that, well, I think I said it in the video the other day, the fact that he's so adamant about not wanting a child, he supposedly sent her money for an abortion. I was kind of like, you know, I don't think that she about should have moved forward with that, because I'm thinking about the kid more than anything. But you know what? Sometimes, because I'm like, he don't want to have nothing to do with her. So I just really hate how that's going to make that kid feel as they're older. They ain't got their dad. But, you know, sometimes people will be in a married relationship. They'll be married. And sometimes what'll happen is when they divorce or whatever the case is, sometimes those dads be ghosts, just like they be deadbeat as fuck, just like any other dude that a woman may meet, have a child with, whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? Some people may be engaged at the time that they conceive a child, then break up, don't even make it to the marriage stage, and then it's acting like a deadbeat. So they come in a lot of different, you know what I'm saying, ranges, a lot of different ways. They come in, they show themselves. Hello. But what I want us to get into really quickly, though, is going to be I want to add her to the screen because she came to social media, and it's not going to be this one, what they're showing over here, because it's not the full video. So I'm going to show you guys the full video of what Aeysha had to say to the people that has had so much to say about her and her decision to keep her child, which everybody feels like it's a check baby, and she should just admit that. Okay, so let us get this up,
guys,
for everybody.
I have been purposely staying off the internet. Reason being is because I don't want to come out of character from the things that are being written and commented, the lies that are being made up. And I know that if I put myself in position to respond, I'm then putting myself in position to defend my daughter and defending her of what has been written. There's no nice way to do it, because people have been so ignorant and so cold-hearted towards a child. And funny enough, I don't know if it's been a year or two, but I remember when Trump wanted to push laws banning the rights to abortion.
I have to pause here, okay, and give just a little bit. I feel like when she talks about, you know, people coming for her daughter, I don't think, I haven't seen any comments where anyone has come for the daughter. I've more so been seeing people come for Aeysha, okay? I've been seeing them come for the age difference, her being older, dealing with a young kid, as they would say. That's what I've been seeing. More so her feeling like it's a check baby, all of that stuff. It hasn't been about the kid. I feel like if there's been anything to where you may need to defend your child, in my personal, I don't think it's towards the audience. I think it would be more towards with their baby daddy, okay? Because he needs to understand that that child chose not, you know, chose not to be here. That's not her. That wasn't her decision. That's something that Aeysha, he didn't want the baby. Aeysha wanted the baby, so she decided to move forward. And maybe she's despite the situation with this guy, maybe she just wanted to have another child. And unfortunately, this is how it came about. So that's that. I feel like if you would have to defend her against anybody, you might need to go up against that dad. But that's just what I think. But let's keep going.
And I remember how women came together and they protest. And you guys, you got dressed in jerry beads. And some of you went down in panties and bras and trench coats and was like, this is my body. This is my choice. Okay? But the second a woman makes the decision, and I'm not even sure if it's a woman or if maybe, well, I know I'm probably getting this attention because of who I am and who I am attached to. But just generally speaking, the second a woman decides to make the decision about her body and her child, y'all turn into weirdos. Do you want a man to tell you what to do with your body or not? Do you want the right or not? What happened? I've also come to realization that there are...
I agree with that. I do. I do agree with that. I do think people do a lot of picking and choosing. And I do feel like she has gotten a lot of the heat more than his ass, for keeping a child, whereas she didn't make that baby by herself. He also took part in that. And if you want to just smash on women and not have no damn kids, then you might need to just work on the one. If you're going to only acknowledge the young lady that you're with and her kids, then is her cootie toy not enough for you to just continue to fuck on and not go smash on these other ladies and stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want the extra kids, then don't participate in the activity that's going to lead to extra kids, or make sure both of you guys are automatically protecting yourself. Okay? I don't know. If she's okay with plan Bs, potentially, maybe you need to be with her on that night after y'all do what y'all do when she go ahead and pop that mug in. Go ahead and drink and take the plan B. I don't know. But I do think that she shouldn't be the only person getting the heat, because he contributed to this as well. He's continuing to make broken homes, and it's crazy because the girl that he's with seems to uphold him in his foolishness. But girl, let's keep going.
Just certain allegations that I will never, ever beat with you guys. I came into this situation with the status because I have a child by a very successful artist, right? From then, I'm viewed as a certain type of woman because I'm beautiful and have a nice body. And normally women like that attract a certain caliber of men, which is also not my fault. And now that I am in yet another situation where I now have a child with another successful man, there's no telling you guys that I'm not a gold digger. You guys, it's no beating those allegations at all.
I feel like I do see what she's saying. She runs in a different type of circle now that she has access by way of Lil Baby and other people. She gets access to different men. I don't feel like the caliber is much different, in my opinion. The only thing that would be different would be money, because I feel like how Anthony has been treating her and operating hasn't been much different than dudes that don't got money. You know what I'm saying? They all giving fuck nigga energy, period. So everybody got access to that type of caliber of a fuck nigga. Like everybody, the only difference is that he has extra money. And even with that extra money, he's still trying to make sure that she don't get the max. She don't get, and here's the thing, he's paying her $5,000 now, but I don't know if that could potentially be lowered. It may get raised potentially. That he might try and get it lower because he got these other kids he got to take care of. So we don't know how it's gonna play out. But I get a little bit of what she's saying. But then at the same time, I'm like, what caliber though? because I mean, just because he got a lot of money, he about operating like a nigga that ain't got shit, and operating like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what he uses to get access to women, which is the money. I don't think it's to me, it's just not a different caliber when his actions are still like any other everyday fuck, in my personal. He uses that money just like she may feel she has access to men because of her body and her beauty or whatever. They got access to you women too because they got the money. I feel like if he was a regular degular walking around, I don't think that she would look his way. In all honesty, you know, he's not a bad looking guy at all, but I just don't think that she would be looking at him. I don't think she would, and I don't think that she should, because I mean, shit, her baby daddy is a little baby. Okay, if I'm gonna go somebody else, you about gonna have to have about the same amount as what little baby has got or more. So I don't fall for that. You know what I'm saying? Just a little piece, but I don't think that the caliber is that great. That's all, you know. But let's keep going, because she finna get into some things, and she finna clock a few people.
The only thing that irritates me is I read comments that say, oh, you're a gold digger, or you kept the baby for a check. What if I came to y'all's pages, right? And I compared the men that you have children with to the men that I have children with. And I said, you were digging for poverty when you picked him to be your baby daddy, weren't you? Oh, you kept that baby for an extra income tax credit, didn't you?
Honey?
Or you kept that baby for a couple extra $100 in food stamps, didn't you?
Baby, Aeysha said you was gonna back the fuck off me. Okay, she said I don't let you just slide a little too much. Y'all have been having a whole lot to say about me in the comments, so much so coming onto my page, bothering me about this nigga that y'all not giving that much heat to, when y'all need to be wearing his ass out. Because like I said, it's always the women that be getting drugged. Yeah, we know that he didn't want a child. We get it. We know, okay, you still had a baby by somebody that didn't want a child. Okay, yeah. But at the same time, he know what he needs to do to protect himself and make sure he not having these outside babies that he damn sure don't want, because he only wants to claim the one with the girlfriend that he got. He needs to be held accountable for something. But the people typically always chastise the woman. So I don't even think she wrong for coming down and, you know, having an opinion and wanting to chew some people up. Okay. So, and what she's saying, it may not apply to you. It may be for the other folks. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Let's keep going, honey.
Or you kept that baby for an extra Section 8 voucher. Is that why you kept your baby? Now, if that was triggering, that's how I feel every time somebody says, do you even love that baby? You kept that baby for a check. Oh yeah, baby. I'm on one tonight. We gonna talk about it. Cause see, I sat back and I watched y'all in your dirty bonnets lay back on your headboards or in your cars with the cloth seats. I saw you. And you voiced your opinion about what you would have did if you were in my situation with my options that you do not have, and you probably never will. How you gonna tell me what you would have did with my situation when you had a baby for your weed man, or you had a baby for
not the weed man? And can I also say that I do think a lot of people would have probably, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of times you just don't know unless you're in that situation. I do feel like more women would have kept the baby because they know it is gonna come with a secured check and the attachment of being with somebody that's famous. She probably is a shoe-in for Basketball Wives. Hell, that's probably why her ass in LA right now, filming for Basketball Wives potentially. But there are some that's not about that, because it's been women that's been pregnant with Drake's kid from, you know, allegations, things that we've heard, and they aborted the kid, period. So, you know, it's just everybody's situation is a bit different. Some people do believe that she kept the baby for a check. And I feel like even if you did, then just say that and did. And what is that going to do for your life today or tomorrow? Okay. But let's keep going.
For that dude that be robbing everybody. Or you had a baby for the booster. Or you had a baby for the dude that you have to run down for $250. Yeah, let's talk about it. I would like to stop for a second, and I would like to give a shout out to Uber Pink Hair. Uber Pink Hair is going to be below. Listen, they keep me on 10. My best friend is a Taurus, and my best friend been like, and bitch, why isn't Golden Girl talking? I looked at my best friend, I was like, baby, Golden Girl's trying to find a way to put it in words because y'all showed out. I would like to take the time out to extend grace to any woman that has recently given birth. Or it doesn't even have to be recent, because from my understanding, postpartum does not have a time frame on it. I thank God daily that I was already coming from a situation where I have dealt with the internet and the opinions and the scrutiny and the drama and just how mean and ignorant people can be. I've dealt with it before. So I have tough skin. And I just thank God that I never saw a day of postpartum. But to any woman that is going through it, I would like to pray you through it. I pray that you overcome it. And I'm taking the time out to do this because the internet showed me no grace. While I was pregnant, after my pregnancy, y'all showed me no grace. Y'all wouldn't know if I was sliding down my wall in a closet or on a cliff about to jump. Thank God I'm really like that. Thank God I'm really like that. And the things that y'all was doing, it didn't break me. It didn't faze me. Thank God. But any woman that is going through postpartum, I pray you through it, my love.
All right. Listen, I fear she didn't lie on that. I do. I fear that she was kind of right. When she got to talking about that postpartum, I think people are very selective sometimes. Okay, she going through it too. Y'all may not like her for the drama she may have been in when it came to Jada Waiter, Lil Baby, whatever she had going on in the beginning and stuff. But I mean, you know, she had just had a baby and the people was on her arse. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below on how y'all feel about it. Because I have definitely been seeing some people in the comments like, yeah, girl, we don't give a damn. We don't want to hear nothing that you talking about. Okay? Because you still was damn near 10 years older than that boy. And you went and hopped on that man's zick and had that baby for a shit. So I don't know. Okay? That's what some of the people are saying in the comments over here on the Shade Room. They have been letting her have it. So, girl, you really damned if you do, damned if you don't. But just make sure y'all be equal opportunity, okay? And give a little piece over there to that man and tell him to stop sitting over here hunching on folks and knowing he don't want no more kids. And let this also be a reminder to any women that get involved with this man, okay? Unless you truly don't want no kids either, don't get yourself tied up with this one, girl, because you definitely gonna be hanging out there by yourself. So either way, good. All right. Good luck to the people. Next thing I want us to get into is going to be Keke Palmer. All right. Keke Palmer appears to be sitting down soon with Jonathan Majors. So she's going to be chatting with him. I believe, did I see it over here? Where is it? I think I saw it. Was it over here? I'm not sure. It was like a breakdown of her. Here it is. So there's a breakdown of, I guess, what this sit down with Jonathan Majors is supposed to be. And it says no easy answers, accountability, and moving forward with Jonathan Majors. Accountability, she says, it's a loaded word, right? We're living in a time where we want real accountability, especially for things men have gotten away with for far too long. At the same time, finding forgiveness feels harder than ever, and we're still figuring out what true accountability even looks like. Today, we're sitting down with Jonathan Majors to talk about what life has looked like after being convicted of harassment and assault. All right. So this is what she's going to be doing, sitting down, talking to Jonathan Majors. And a lot of people have been on her arse the same way they were on Sherry Shepherd's arse, because they felt like, well, Sherry, listen, girl, you over here trying to comfort Megan and how she's showing up, but then you're crying over a character that Jonathan Majors is playing, and you just don't seem genuine. Whatever the case is, they've been on her arse about it. They've been on Kiki's arse so much so that they are bringing up things that Kiki may have said in the past. Video of her actually sitting in the lap of R. Kelly, and I never even saw this before. They're saying one of my it says one of my favorite people in the entire world, one of the most gifted people on the planet. Don't at me.
I'm here with one of my favorite people in the world, okay? And he's playing the most amazing.
Okay, people was clocking the fact that she sat down in his lap. Child, the people is something else. I'm
here with one of my favorite people in the world, okay? And he's playing the most amazing new track. Are they ready for this new shit?
I'm a biter.
All right, so let me see. I'm unmuted because I don't know what music is playing. Okay, so she's in the studio with R. Kelly. Child, ain't that some mess, honey? Ain't that something? Now they go on to say, y'all act like Keke Palmer wasn't in the studio sitting on R. Kelly lap and posting him on her Snapchat story. So I guess they're saying that you guys are outraged about this, but why y'all wasn't saying that when she was over there linked up with R. Kelly? So to some people, they're feeling like this may be on brand for Keke. I have never seen this before. Never. This was the first time I saw this video. I was like, oh, we got to talk about it. So then someone else put this post up and they said, y'all also act like she didn't say this. Now let's move on. All right. So the person says, they reposted a caption of Kiki's back in January of 2019. She says, just finished surviving R. Kelly, and I have spent the last hour crying. As a student of R. Kelly's, for the first time I was and have been around his light and understanding the obstacles he overcame as a child to actually be birthed into the musical genius he is today. All to put others through the same darkness he was running from is the most disheartening thing to accept. Many people experience hardships and do not allow themselves to find freedom through their passion enough to shine a light. R. Kelly received the grace from God. God blessed him to vindicate his childhood shortcomings, and yet still he has slapped God and slapped God in the face by his actions towards these women. I am hurt and saddened because he could have been a blessing to these women, but instead he repeatedly took advantage, and that I cannot accept. She says, I will stand by my sisters because that's simply what's right, and what I hope discontinues this behavior in anyone. We have to be good to each other. Not all of us accept the light, but those of us that do must be responsible. We cannot take advantage of each other or accept when someone else does. All right. So that is what Keke said back then. And this was a person's response of saying, you trying to tear her down, but she also disowned his actions. And that's that. All right. But y'all let me know how y'all are feeling about it. When it comes to Jonathan Majors, I do feel like there might be a comeback. You know, I feel like there's going to be some sort of a comeback, whether people want to witness it or not. You know, Keke is getting a lot of flack for having him on her platform, knowing the situation she went through with her baby dad. But then I'm not necessarily surprised, because although they had their altercation and altercations based on what was listed in the court documents, she still went on to drop those charges, and I guess they sorted it out. I don't know, but they seem to be okay. So I'm not surprised that she would still have Jonathan Majors on her platform, because she's a person that I would say forgave her man, even though he that, okay? And then now she's giving him a platform to talk about it, talk through it, whatever the case. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like on brand. I'm not surprised. When I saw that she was doing this with Jonathan Majors, I'm like, I'm not surprised. I don't feel like she's the first and won't be the last to have somebody on their platform that others feel are, problematic. So yeah, and we don't even know what all's actually going to be said in this interview, and people are outraged about it right out the gate. And I think that you have a right to feel however you choose to feel about the situation. If you're upset, if you're mad, I feel like he's going on bigger platforms than hers, right? To do sit downs, interviews, whatever the case is. And I don't know if any accountability is going to be taken. But the more visibility he gets, I think it might be a better thing for him. Okay. Yeah, the people's not going to like him, but I think to others, it's going to show that he's still trying to press through. And I don't know, y'all, whether people like it or not, I think we're going to end up seeing him back on the TV screens in some fashion. Outside of the show, because a lot of people have been outside of the movie, people have been saying that his movie has been really good. I haven't seen it. But I don't know. We might be witnessing some sort of a comeback. I don't know. But can I also say this? Sometimes it's hard to take Twitter serious, because I feel like on Twitter, there's a lot of outrage about things, but then they don't always translate. Right. And I have to use Chris Brown as an example, even though, there's a good bit of you guys that can't stand him. But I was seeing tweets because, his Breezy Bowl went on sale. He's about to do his 20-year concert and 20-year anniversary for his career concert or whatnot. And people start tweeting like, wait a minute. Why the fuck is it 34,000 people in the queue for tickets? Okay, these screenshots have been having me so tickled. Some people like 19,000. Okay, you have some people, they had 20-some thousand. When I tell you, I was so fucking tickled. They said, y'all fake as hell because y'all act like y'all don't like Chris Brown. So why the fuck is y'all over here trying to get up all these damn tickets? I thought 90% of you bitches didn't even like him. Girl, when I tell you, them folks had me tickled as hell. It was hilarious. I do feel like sometimes it's hard to take social media serious because they be so outraged and they say this, say that, jump on the case of this person, that person, or whatever. And, but then in real life, they be on some other SHI. Some of the biggest people that's in the comments that's like, I can't stand Chris Brown gonna be over there at that man concert with some damn glasses on and a fucking hat. It's gonna be a mess. I think the same thing with Jonathan. A lot of people are upset with Jonathan in this moment. A lot of people, and then especially it's hard to take people serious if they're hiding behind a profile that doesn't show their actual face. Right. And they're being outraged, this performativeness. I can't stand him and he's an abuser and this and that. And I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I am saying that you're going to be one of the first people trying to get a ticket to one of his movies should he get back in Marvel or some shit. So it's just sometimes it's hard to take people serious. But anywho, that's that on that. I feel like also when I say Kiki's not going to be the first person to have a problematic person on their platform and she ain't going to be the last, I also feel like Jonathan ain't going to be the first problematic person on her platform and not the last, So that's kind of, granted, I do feel like she could have refused it if she wanted to, but she didn't. So I'm like, that kind of comes with the territory. And because people can't stand him and don't like him, they're still going to tune in because people love and enjoy to watch the things that they say they can't stand and they don't like. I don't know why. Glutton for punishment, I suppose. But either way, good luck. That's all that I got for you guys at this particular time. Of course, I am Jami. That's me. If you have yet to like the video, please go ahead and do so. You know what I'm saying? Also subscribe to the channel. And that's all I got. All right. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATL, got them trying to clone me like Aeysha. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I could face the rim.